You're here for a reason, not by chance. Deep within you, there's a quiet spark, ancient, resilient, and radiant, that has guided you to this moment. It's not the part of you that's distracted by daily noise or endless scrolling, but the deeper you, the one that feels a shift stirring before it's even visible. As you listen to these words, you might start to reconnect with what that inner self has always known. Maybe life feels like it's coming undone lately. Familiar routines feel off. The ground beneath you seems shaky. Old patterns are crumbling, and the rules you once followed no longer make sense. But pause and reflect. In the language of the soul, chaos often carries meaning. What if this unrest isn't the end, but the spark of a new chapter? What if this disruption is sacred, a necessary breaking apart to make way for something truer? Carl Jung taught that our unconscious speaks through symbols, dreams, feelings, and subtle signs, not in clear-cut answers. Before a major life shift, the signs aren't always loud, they whisper. They show up in vivid dreams, recurring patterns, or emotions that hit without warning. If you ignore them, they grow louder, shaking loose what no longer fits. The real tragedy isn't the upheaval itself, it's misinterpreting it. Too many label it failure, bad luck, or poor timing. They push it away or give up just before the breakthrough. But you're here, listening. That means something in you is awake, tuning into these signals, even if your mind hasn't fully decoded them yet. That's the edge of transformation. In this video, we'll explore 7 undeniable signs that your life isn't falling apart. It's breaking open. If even a few of these resonate, your soul is already on its way to something extraordinary. A new chapter isn't just coming, it's already unfolding within you, quietly, powerfully. Let's dive in. The first sign that you're stepping into your most vibrant season is this. You start questioning everything you once held as true. Not out of defiance, but from a gentle inner nudge that won't let you settle for old certainties. If you're rethinking your values, your friendships, your career, or even who you are at your core, you're not lost. You're being summoned. Something deep inside is stirring, like a seed splitting open in the dark before it reaches sunlight. Jung saw this questioning as an initiation, not a crisis. The old frameworks of your mind start to crack because they can't contain the person you're becoming. Your beliefs, habits, and ambitions might suddenly feel empty, like clothes that no longer fit. This unease isn't a flaw, it's the labor of rebirth. The universe is gently peeling away what no longer serves your growth. What feels like confusion is actually clarity taking root. It's an invitation to wake up from the story of who you thought you had to be. This process can feel like letting go of an old identity, roles shaped by others' expectations, goals you inherited but never chose, dreams that weren't yours. In American culture, we're often taught to chase success, status, or approval, but this unraveling asks, who are you without those labels? It's not destruction, it's a clearing. You're not being broken, you're being set free. You might notice that places, people, or routines that once felt like home now seem distant. The masks you wore to fit in start to slip. There's grief in this, yes, but also liberation. You're not failing, you're stepping into authenticity. The questions bubbling up. Who am I really? What do I want for myself? Aren't just thoughts. They're doorways to a deeper truth. Signs begin to appear. A podcast episode speaks directly to your heart. A chance encounter feels fated. A dream jolts you awake with meaning. These aren't random, they're confirmations. Your inner world is syncing with something greater. Jung believed transformation starts when we listen to the quiet voice beneath life's noise. So trust the unraveling, embrace the discomfort. It's not the end, it's the path clearing. The fact that you're questioning means you're already becoming the truest version of yourself. The second sign is subtle but powerful. You feel a growing distance from the person you used to be. In Jungian terms, this is the shedding of an outdated persona, a quiet letting go of identities that no longer fit. This shift doesn't hit like a storm, it's more like a soft drift. Hobbies that once lit you up now feel flat. Conversations that used to spark joy seem repetitive. Routines that grounded you now feel like they belong to someone else. For example, maybe you used to live for weekend tailgates or binge watching the latest Netflix series, but now those feel like echoes of a past self. You sense your inner landscape shifting, like a city you've outgrown. The lens through which you see the world is changing. People, places, and habits that once defined you start to fade. Not out of anger, but with a quiet inevitability. This isn't cynicism, it's sacred. Your soul is signaling it's ready to expand. Jung called this individuation, the process of freeing yourself from societal expectations, family scripts, or ego-driven roles. It's not disorientation, it's clarity wearing the mask of uncertainty. The job title you chased, the social circles you clung to, the image you upheld, they start to feel like costumes from a story you're done telling. There's a bittersweet ache in letting go of who you were. You might mourn the parts of yourself that felt so real once, like a favorite song you no longer play. But this grief is holy. It's the pain of rebirth. New questions arise. Who am I without these roles? What truly matters now? These aren't doubts, they're gateways to a deeper life. You might crave solitude, not to hide, but to make space for what's emerging. While the world keeps buzzing, think social media notifications or crowded happy hours, you're drawn to quiet moments, maybe journaling at dawn or walking alone in nature. That inner voice whispers, you're not lost, you're becoming. Trust this shift. It's not failure, it's the quiet revolution before your transformation. The third sign is a subtle but seismic shift. You start questioning what you once thought was non-negotiable. The things that anchored you, career titles, social status, the need for validation, begin to lose their grip, like leaves falling in autumn. You might be shocked at how quickly your priorities change. The corner office or the perfect Instagram feed no longer fuels your fire. Jung described this as the soul rejecting the collective script, whispering through the cracks of your public persona. You start seeing life with new depth, as if a fog has lifted. Material goals, like the latest tech gadget or a bigger house, still exist, but they don't define your worth. Approval from others, once a driving force, now feels secondary. You begin asking, what truly lights me up? What makes me feel alive? These questions aren't casual, they're sacred. They often rise from discomfort, not ease. In a culture obsessed with hustle, think Silicon Valley's grind or Wall Street's chase, fulfillment isn't about what you own or achieve. It's about how deeply you live and connect. This shift can feel like drifting in open water, untethered from old beliefs, but it's not aimless. It's your soul guiding you toward truth. You might rediscover passions you buried, like painting or volunteering, or find new paths, like starting a side hustle with purpose. Relationships might shift too. Small talk with old friends feels shallow and you crave deeper connections. That loneliness isn't failure, it's space for growth. New people aligned with your evolving energy start to appear, maybe at a local book club or through a meaningful online community. This isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. You're not losing yourself, you're finding the self beneath the noise. The world may pull you back to its expectations, but you're craving what's real. The fourth sign is a quiet awakening. Your intuition starts to feel like a trusted guide. It's not loud or demanding. It's a soft current, like a river beneath your thoughts, nudging you toward truth. In moments when logic alone isn't enough, this inner knowing speaks. You sense something deeper has stirred, not just in your mind, but in your core. Jung saw intuition as the voice of the deeper self, a wisdom beyond reason. You might walk into a coffee shop and instantly feel the vibe without a word. At a career crossroads, your gut leans one way, even if it defies logic. This isn't wishful thinking, it's your subconscious speaking its ancient language, guiding you like a compass. At first, it might come in flashes, a sudden clarity during a morning jog, a gut feeling about a decision. But as you trust it, you realize it's always been there, drowned out by life's noise. This awakening often follows upheaval, when old structures, like a dead-end job or a draining friendship, start to crumble. Your mind scrambles for control, but your intuition rises in the stillness. The more you listen, the clearer life becomes. A coworker's offhand comment suddenly makes sense. A choice that felt murky now feels right. You stop overthinking because doubt no longer drowns out your inner voice. You're not chasing external validation, you're finding certainty within. The path isn't easy, but it feels true. You start trusting the quiet pull forward, even when the future's foggy. That peace in your chest when something aligns, that's your soul speaking. This intuition isn't new, it's ancient, a sacred guide that's always been with you. As you follow it, life starts to flow with authenticity and ease. The fifth sign is a spark igniting within, a hunger for growth that won't be ignored. It's not about chasing trends like self-help podcasts or wellness apps. It's a deep soul-level need to evolve. What once satisfied a stable routine, predictable days, now feels like a cage. You're not just living, you're yearning to expand. This longing isn't shallow. It's not about quick fixes or fleeting motivation. You crave wisdom, not to impress, but to reconnect with your core. Books on mindfulness, conversations about purpose, or even therapy sessions start to hit differently. They speak to your heart, not just your head. Your soul is saying, I'm ready to wake up. Jung called this individuation, the journey to integrate your light and shadow. You start exploring forgotten dreams, maybe writing poetry or mentoring others, or healing old wounds, seeing them as doorways, not scars. You ask new questions. What am I meant to create? What fears am I still holding on to? These aren't doubts. They're sparks of awakening. Growth now means shedding, not adding. You're not piling on new skills to prove yourself. You're letting go of what no longer fits, like an old mindset or a people-pleasing habit. This can feel raw, like the ground is shifting, but it's not chaos, it's preparation. Your soul is clearing space for new roots to grow. You're drawn to people who share your hunger for depth. Maybe a colleague who challenges you to think bigger, or a friend who values vulnerability over small talk. Old connections might fade, not out of conflict, but because you're outgrowing them. You're not afraid to stand alone if it means standing in your truth. This is the threshold of your best chapter, not a destination, but a becoming. The urge to grow is proof the seed of transformation is already planted. The sixth sign is a fierce need to break free from toxic ties and patterns that once felt normal. It's not just frustration, it's your soul refusing to stay small. Relationships that once felt like comfort now feel like weights. You see through dynamics you once accepted, maybe a friend's subtle criticism or a family member's control disguised as care. In American culture, we're often taught to keep the peace, but your soul is done compromising. You're not pulling away, you're stepping into your truth. This shift isn't about anger, it's about clarity. You realize your energy is sacred, your peace non-negotiable. You stop explaining yourself to those who drain you. Jung saw this as shedding the false self, roles you played to fit in. Letting go of toxic connections isn't abandonment, it's reclaiming your spirit. This release carries grief, even when it's necessary. Letting go of a childhood friend or a long-held habit hurts, but it's a holy pain, the ache of a soul refusing to settle. As you create space, new connections emerge. People who inspire, who feel like home, who mirror your growth. They show up quietly like a new neighbor or a mentor at work. This isn't loss, it's liberation. You're not breaking bonds, you're breaking cycles. Your outer world starts to reflect your inner truth, drawing in relationships that honor your path. The seventh sign is a profound detachment from what once mattered but no longer resonates. It's not loud or dramatic, it's a quiet shift, like a season changing. People, habits, or beliefs that once anchored you, like chasing a promotion or clinging to tradition, lose their pull. You're not rejecting them out of spite. You're being called to something truer. Your inner world is transforming, letting go of what doesn't align with the person you're becoming. Conversations that used to spark joy now feel scripted. Hobbies like collecting vinyl or weekend bar crawls feel empty. Even your own thoughts shift. Familiar places like your hometown dive bar feel foreign. This isn't betrayal, it's release. Jung taught that growth often means subtraction, not addition. You're peeling away layers to uncover your core. You might wonder why old joys fade or why some friendships feel strained. This isn't failure, it's renewal. You're being emptied to be refilled. Old fears lose their hold. Obligations that once consumed you, like saying yes to every invite, feel irrelevant. In this stillness, a deeper truth emerges, guiding you without explanation. This detachment isn't escape, it's a homecoming. Freedom isn't about avoiding responsibility, it's about aligning with your truth. You don't need to be everywhere or with everyone. You want to be whole. As you let go, you make space for what's coming, a life that feels authentic, not forced. If these signs resonate, something within you is already shifting. The old you is fading, and the truest you is emerging, not a better version, but the most real. Trust this process. It's not the end, it's the beginning of who you were always meant to be. This isn't just a new chapter, it's a sacred awakening. You're not tweaking your life, you're expanding your consciousness. You're aligning with a truth that doesn't need control to feel clear or conditions to feel peaceful. This is a quiet initiation into a new way of being. The signs are already here, in your longing for meaning, your exhaustion with shallow pursuits, your refusal to betray your soul. These aren't fleeting emotions, they're invitations to live with intention, authenticity, and grace. Jung reminded us that transformation isn't about being better, it's about embracing all of who you are, flaws and all. The path ahead doesn't demand perfection, it asks for presence. It doesn't require fearlessness, just honesty. Your best life isn't out there. It's forged in the quiet moments of turning inward, in the courage to release what no longer fits, in saying yes to the mystery calling you forward. So stay open, stay curious, stay true. Your transformation isn't just about becoming more, it's about becoming real. If these words stirred something in you, it's because your soul is ready to step into its truth. You're not alone on this journey. Let's keep walking toward the life that's waiting for you. If this resonated, don't let it end here. Reflect on these signs. Journal them. Share them with someone you trust, or take one small step today toward your truth. Hit like if this spoke to your soul, subscribe to join a community of seekers, and turn on notifications for more videos to guide your growth. Your best life isn't a destination, it's a journey you're already on. Let's meet again soon to keep becoming who you were always meant to be.